exhausted, dear?
No, I'm kind of numb.
Oh, it must have been a dreadful night for you.
Mom, I'm glad everything surfaced when it did about Doug and Marcia and me. At least you and I got a chance to talk it all out before this terrible thing happened.
How was Doug when you left the hospital?
It was hard to tell. Well, he was tired, of course. He's been through an emotional wringer. Well, not just last night, but ever since Marcia threatened to involve me in a scandal if he tried to leave her.
Annie, I think Doug's a very strong man.
Strange. He said that he'd been very weak in the way that he'd handled this whole situation with Marcia ever since she's come back from Europe. He's going to have to muster a lot of strength, though, to get through the next few days. That's for sure.
But you said that Marcia came through the surgery all right, didn't you?
Yes, Mom, she survived it. But they're not going to know if the surgery was actually successful for a while longer.
Honey, you're just going to have to take each day at a time. Just face each challenge as it comes along. That's what Doug's going to have to do, too.
I know. I hope I can.
And just remember what your father said before he left. He's going to be here to back you up no matter what happens. And you know that I will, and Dee, too.
Mom, I don't know what's going to happen for Doug or me. And I'm not sure if I know what I want to happen.
Well, that's understandable, considering everything you've been through.
I just have to know my own mind, because it's not fair to Doug to let... Listen to me. I'm thinking it through already. Why can't I be more like Dee?
Come on in.
I'll wait until you finish. Hello. I'll only stay a moment. Now, don't try to talk. Don't talk at all. I just heard about your accident as I came in this morning. I thought I'd drop by and see how you were. Listen, I want to try to set something up with Doug so that perhaps Andrew and Brian can spend some time together in the afternoons when he comes home from nursery school. That is when Doug isn't working here. That way you don't have to worry about him, all right?
Very, very nice.
It's all right. Nice. How'd this happen? No, I'm sorry. Don't even think about it. I tell you not to talk, and then I ask you a question. It's not right. Look, you must know, Jeff is a very fine surgeon. So is Dr. Simmons. They're going to take very good care of you. You have nothing to worry about. If there's anything you want at all, though, you have somebody give me a call, will you?
Thank you.
Can you remember that? All right, good. I'll talk to you later. I just heard about it. I thought I'd drop by and see how she was. I'll talk to you later, all right?
Has she had her medication yet?
Yes.
All right, well, you can take a break now, nurse.
Thank you, Dr. Moore.
Marcia?
Yeah. You're my doctor? You're my doctor?
Yes, Dr. Simmons and I performed the surgery.
Oh.
How's the pain?
Hurts. Am I okay?
Look, Marcia, I don't want you to worry, all right? We had to go in and do some repair work. You had some internal bleeding.
Well,
now, listen, Marcia, don't worry, all right? You're getting the best care possible here. You just need some rest.
I'm scared.
Listen, Marcia, can you understand me? You had a bad fall, all right? But you're gonna be all right.
Maybe. Doug, frightened.
Yes, I know. Well, listen, he's very concerned about you, and so am I.
No.
Marcia, no matter what I said to you the other day, I am concerned about you. Now, you've got to stop dwelling on the negatives. You need your strength. You've got to rest and get your strength back. I'll come back and see you soon. You just rest.
Who is it?
Bennett. You didn't leave before Lisa got up, as I told you to.
As I mentioned earlier, I have a lot of packing to do.
All right. Lisa's going into town to do some shopping. I think it'd be best for everyone if you were gone before she gets back.
I've already called Henry Bickford. He's coming up to pick me up around noon.
It's almost noon now.
I'm going to have to leave some of my things here and pick them up some other time. It's hard to move everything that I've collected for so many years in just one morning.
I want you to get your things out of here while Lisa and I are off on our honeymoon. Ida will arrange to let you in.
Fine. I would like to lock my room and keep the key until I come back.
Suit yourself. Don't wait too long. When we get back from our honeymoon, we're going to redo this room along with the others.
Are you taking Lisa to Jamaica too?
It's none of your business. The trip is to be a surprise for Lisa.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. I remember Ruth had several surprises on her honeymoon too. Only she wasn't bright enough to recognize the
You
dangers.
stop right there.
Hester, where are you?
In my room, Henry. Will you come up here and help me with a few things?
Oh, the stairs are getting to be a bit too much for me.
Hello, Henry.
Bennett? Are you ready, Hester?
Just about.
I'll help you with your things.
No. We can manage without you.
All right.
Hester, I know this must be hard for you to be leaving after all these years, but I warned you time and time again not to antagonize Lisa.
Oh, she's not responsible for this. She had nothing to do with Bennett's firing me. As a matter of fact, she saved my life.
Oh? How's that?
If she hadn't come into the sitting room last night when she did, Bennett might have strangled me.
Hester, you mustn't say things like that.
It's true. Look at these bruises on my shoulders and the base of my neck. How do you think I got those?
Oh, good Lord.
Bennett is on the brink now. He's tottering right on the jagged edge of it. First, he accused me of something that I didn't do, and then he nearly choked the life out of me.
Perhaps it's just as well you're leaving.
It's strange. It's not Bennett I mind leaving now, it's Lisa. She should have somebody to look after her. His jealousy is much less in control now than it was with Ruth. Do you remember what it was like just after they got married?
Oh, yes, I do. As a matter of fact, when they got back from their honeymoon in Jamaica, Ruth came to see me. She showed me bruises, very much like those of yours.
Well, I can only tell you that things got worse as time went on. I lived here with them, I know. The night before Bennett married Ruth, a sort of madness took over. He's never been the same. Well, there isn't anything I can do about any of this any longer. I just hope you'll keep a close eye on things up here. For Lisa's sake.
Listen, that's a real shocker about Mrs. Campbell.
Yeah, it is.
I can imagine how you must have reacted. I mean, the two of you are so close.
You know, John, when I saw you in there, I was kind of surprised. I didn't realize you knew Marcia so well.
I don't, really. We spent a very pleasant day together a couple of days ago. Our boys are the same age. We took them for a ride in the country. She strikes me as a very nice woman. Full of life. I guess that's what makes it so sad to see her lying there helpless like that. I understand that you and Simmons operated on her. That must have been kind of rough on you.
Why, John?
Well, I mean, when you know a patient as well as you know
wait a
Mrs.
minute, wait a
Campbell.
minute. I'm not sure that I like what you're implying about Marcia and me here.
Oh, come on, come on. Let us not forget that Mrs. Campbell helped you get this temporary appointment. And let us not forget who it was that urged you to take advantage of that friendship in the first place. And let us not forget that it worked.
Oh, Jeff. Any change in Marcia's condition?
No, I'm afraid she's still the same, Doug.
Have you been in to see her yet?
Yeah, I was there a couple of minutes ago. She's still under heavy sedation.
Well, listen, I want to tell you I'm very grateful to you for the way you jumped in last night.
Well, I mean, I thought it made more sense than bringing in another surgeon. Doug, I want to ask you something.
What?
When you saw Marcia today, what was her attitude?
Well, she was out of it. She was groggy, disoriented.
Yeah, I know that. Did she seem frightened to you?
Yes, it was very difficult for us to face each other after what happened. Why do you ask?
Well, last night in the recovery room, she kept on murmuring your name over and over again as she came up from the anesthetic. She seemed to be reliving the whole incident up to the fall. Well, maybe I'm reading more into it than was there.
She could have been remembering the accident.
Yeah, that could be, but she seemed frightened. Maybe she was frightened of you walking out on her.
Or maybe she was concerned about the outcome of her surgery.
But it seemed to be aimed at you, Doug.
Possibly.
On the other hand, she could have been referring to the fear that she told me about the other day. That you had threatened her if she ever tried to hurt Annie again.
Jeff, that threat was made in a moment of anger. Marcia read a lot more into it than I ever meant.
Yes, well, I mean, I know that. I just wanted to make you aware of this in case she has a strange reaction to you. I mean, she's pretty much out of it, and she doesn't know what's real and what's in her memory.
Well, all right, thanks. I appreciate you telling me that, and I'll be more careful the next time I talk to her. The last thing in the world she needs right now is anything to upset her. Right. Real or not.
Jeff, how is she?
Oh, well, she's holding her own. She's doing fine. Excuse me, I've got to check on a patient.
Okay, see you, Jeff. Well, Annie, you must be worn out.
I didn't think I'd make it through my classes, but I did. I even managed to get an A on a quiz. Are you all right?
Yeah. I want to thank you for your support.
I did it because I wanted to.
I wish I knew what to say. I thought today was
You
going
don't
to be a whole
have
new
to
beginning.
say anything. Your first responsibility right now is to Marcia.
But I didn't think I was going to have that responsibility after this morning. Instead,
Things don't always turn out the way we expect them to. We both know that.
Right.
Now, see, that's what I've been trying to explain to you, but I couldn't get it across to you without Dana here to demonstrate.
It makes all the difference in the world. You agree, Barry?
It looks great to me.
Dana, let me ask you something. Excuse us for a minute. I'm really sorry that our careers have never crossed professionally before, but I saw you dance.
Oh, did you?
Yes, when you were on tour with the Joffrey.
Well, I've certainly watched your rise as a choreographer. I was thrilled to know that you were named to do Ian's ballet.
Well, you made my work easy.
Well, there's still a lot more to do.
Oh, no, but you've set up a solid foundation for me to build on. I can see that you've inspired every note of Ian's music from the point of view of movement.
That's the only way I can react to music.
You've done a magnificent job. This ballet will almost dance itself.
Dee, would you mind taking some dictation from Barry?
Oh, I'll be glad to.
So, wasn't she something?
I thought the village maiden was a minor role, but after watching Dana dance it, I'm going to have trouble casting it. Dana's image will always be there in my head.
Thank you, Antonio. That's the kind of compliment I can live on for a long time to come.
You listen. Ralph will understand if you tell him you intended to pay back every penny with interest just as soon as the profit started to come in.
I don't think he is going to understand.
Yeah, I know he will.
Why should he?
Well, look, he wanted to go into partnership with you in the first place, right? Because he believed in you and he trusted your judgment. Okay, honey, I'm sure he's going to be disappointed
Carol,
now. But...
a lot has happened since Ralph first wanted to be partners with me.
Well, like what?
Well, for one thing, Don Hughes. He's been filling Ralph full of suspicions about me.
I wonder if that's really true. I mean, I've always found Don to be very fair.
He hasn't been fair with me. That law firm was supposed to represent me, too, but when push came to shove, they backed Ralph all the way.
Did they really, honey? Or did you just jump to all sorts of conclusions because you felt guilty?
Yeah, I felt guilty, but I also felt I couldn't count on them.
That was because you knew you were in the wrong. You can't forget that.
Okay, maybe you're right, but I still got so mad when I felt they were all ganging up on me. That's why I told them I didn't want them as lawyers anymore.
Okay. They're not the problem anyway. You've got the problem with Ralph. Now, honey, I know that you're going to feel so much better after you talk with Ralph.
Maybe.
Please, call him. Once you've talked to him, you won't be under pressure from Merv Santini or any of the other suppliers who went along with this scheme.
Maybe you're right.
Look, honey, I'm going to go now and get some groceries. I'll leave you enough time to call Ralph and meet with him. Now, you remember, whatever happens, you've got to tell Ralph the truth. I love you.
I love you.
I'm going to get my coat now.
Oh, hi, Ralph. This is Jay.
Ellen, I realize now I shouldn't have come.
I had no idea what this was all about.
Well, I thought you should know the truth. I thought maybe you could help Annie.
Marcia, I know my daughter very well. I know that Annie has flaws and vulnerabilities like everyone else. And I can also understand how she might be able to respond to someone like Doug.
I didn't say I blamed her for it. Doug's a very attractive man. And he and Annie have a lot in common.
Even so, I will not believe that my daughter is having an affair with Doug. I know her too well to believe that. She was bitterly hurt by something like that herself.
Hurt?
Oh, yes. When she was married, her husband. She found out that her husband had been involved with another woman. Because of that, I feel all the more certain that Annie would never knowingly do anything to break up a marriage.
Ellen? Ellen?
Oh, John.
You're a long way away there.
Yes, I'm afraid I was. Well, I hope you had a nice visit with Andy.
Yes, I did. Listen, I thought I could save Kim a trip by taking Andrew back to the apartment.
Oh, that won't be necessary. Andy's staying over tonight.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, Kim's leaving for Norwich tomorrow. Doesn't make any sense to take Andy back home tonight and just have him come back here again in the morning.
No, I suppose you're right, yeah. I really don't like all this shuttling back and forth with Andrew.
Oh, John. Now, you and I know that a boy Andy's age isn't bothered by that. He has all the love and affection. That's what really matters.
Yeah, but a feeling of home base is very important, too. I've talked to Kim about this a couple of times, but she doesn't seem to listen to me. She seems too preoccupied.
I think you're making too much of this, John.
No, I don't. I disagree. I disagree. I'm beginning to wonder if she just doesn't have too much on her hands these days. She's got a teenage daughter who's giving her problems. She's trying to keep up with a part-time job, and then she's trying to raise a boy of Andrew's age. No, I think it's a great deal to handle for a woman who is all alone.
Thank you, Bennett. Is Lisa back yet?
Yeah, she's upstairs resting. Her friend Smokedale will be here tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of activity around here before the wedding.
Yes, I imagine there will be. Bennett, I'm sorry that things had to end so unpleasantly between you and Hester.
I am too, but she brought it on herself. I warned her often enough. You have no idea how much that woman interfered with my life.
I don't want to take sides, but Hester's going to be desolate being away from the inn. The Willows was her whole life.
And it's high time she found another one.
I know, but that's not going to be easy for someone like Hester.
I can't worry about Hester and what she's going to do. Wasted enough time worrying about her. I really should have dismissed her months ago.
Aren't you going to need help up here now, especially with Lisa's friends arriving for the wedding?
I've called Ida Henderson.
Oh.
I had a long talk with her today. She'll take over the place, but she won't overstep the bounds of an employee the way Hester did.
Will she be living in?
No. That's the best part of the new arrangement. I'll have Lisa all to myself. Just the two of us.
Just the two of you?
Yeah. Well, her friends will be here for the wedding, but they'll be going back to Oakdale as soon as the wedding's over.
Didn't you and Lisa plan to reopen the Willows?
Yes, but it'll be some time before we're ready to take in guests.
Bennett, you know, you can't keep the world outside and keep Lisa on an island for yourself, so to speak. Not for very long.
And for as long as it lasts. Henry, do you happen to know where Hester took her brother?
Why do you ask that?
I'm just curious. She must have told you where she took Martin.
Yes, she did. But she asked me to keep it a secret.
I'd like to know just the same.
Bennett, you know I can't break a confidence.
Henry, we're old friends.
I'm very much interested in why you're interested in Martin. Martin belongs to another part of your life, a sad part that's best forgotten. Especially since you're going to be remarried again.
There are some things a man never forgets. Or forgives.
Well, then you're going to have to do just that. Hester kept Martin's whereabouts a secret because she was afraid you would go up there and harm him.
That's foolish. I'm just curious. I'm curious about what Martin remembers about after he took Ruth away from here.
What's the good of it? Bennett, it's best to forget both Ruth and Martin.
I never want anything like that to happen to me again.
It won't happen again with Lisa.
I'll make sure it won't.
Great, thank you. Well, Jay, I'll tell you, really was good to hear from you.
Well, I called you the minute I got back from New York, just like I promised.
Yeah. I just think that we ought to talk through the whole thing, because that's the only way we're going to clear up all these misunderstandings.
Yeah, I know, but, See, the reason we had any misunderstanding in the first place is because we didn't talk to each other directly.
No, wait a minute. We talked almost every day.
Yeah, except a third person got involved. Don Hughes. He started to pry into all our business affairs. I'm going to tell you, that rubbed me the wrong way right from the beginning. We wouldn't be having any problems if he had just stayed out of it.
I wish you would stop blaming Don.
Well, he got involved, didn't he?
Only because I kept getting more and more worried about these constantly rising costs on the shopping center. And, Jay, I'm still worried.
Okay, I'm still worried myself. But how is Don Hughes going to help us?
What am I supposed to do? He's my lawyer. Who else am I going to see about my financial problems?
Now, wait a minute. Are you trying to blame me for all your financial problems?
No, I'm not blaming you for anything.
Well, it's sounded like that, Ralph.
Oh, don't fly off the handle. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this.
Okay.
All right, now listen. I know for a fact that Merv Santini and some of your other suppliers are charging you almost a third more than they're charging their other contractors. Don has these figures. Now, Jay, he got them at my request. Now, look, let's try to figure this thing out. Is it possible that these guys are trying to recoup some of the monies that you owed them when you went broke before? Because if it is, you know, we ought to go to them and lay it on the line and demand some refunds.
No, I don't think that's possible. Look, I've been doing business with these guys for a long time. They're all my friends.
You got another explanation? I really hope there is another explanation.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I'm going to ask you to do me a big favor.
What?
Well, I'd like some time to check things out on my own.
Jay, these figures have already been checked out.
Yeah, I know, Ralph, but I'd like to do it in my own way, you know, without Don or Grant or Chris or anybody else butting in.
But I keep thinking that if we just let it ride any longer, they're just going to take more and more advantage of us.
No, they won't. I'm going to find out what's been going on.
But Jay, I thought once we got together and talked about this, we could take some strong action.
Yeah, sure, we will. But I just give me a little time.
Hi, Carol. It's good to see you back again.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
I know what a relief it is to Jay.
Listen, can you stay and have dinner with us? Amy will be up soon. We can have a nice visit.
Well, thank you. That's very tempting, but I promised Valerie and Kate that I'd drop by the farm. Maybe some other time, huh?
Fine. Any night you can make it. Please give my love to Valerie and Kate.
Okay.
It'll take me a little while to catch up with everybody.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can all get together some other time.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
Okay. Well, I guess I better be going. Well, yeah, thanks.
Okay.
I'll talk to Don, and I'll tell him that you want some more time to check it out.
Thanks, Ralph.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay, Ralph. You didn't tell him the truth, did you?
I just couldn't, Carol. When the time came, all sorts of things flashed through my head. Mostly you and Amy. And I just couldn't do it.
Antonio, you definitely have to leave tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. I won't be leaving till the evening, though, so that does give us one more full day.
Well, we could use more than another full day to finalize all these new ideas.
But I've got to get back to New York with those tapes and hole in and really get down to work. You realize rehearsals start in January.
I hate to interrupt this, but it's time for Ian's rest.
All right, when Dee says it's time for my rest, there's no point in arguing.
Oh, wait, before you go, I have a proposal that I'd like to make to Dana. I would love to have you work with me as my assistant during the pre-rehearsal period.
But you're going to be in New York.
Well, just let me finish. I'd like you to stay on as my assistant through rehearsals and also dance the role of the village maiden at the command performance.
Dana, what a wonderful offer. You really do deserve it.
It's a fabulous offer. But I have to say no.
You must be crazy.
I live here now, Barry. I can't just take off for New York or London anytime I want to.
Only for a short period of time.
I know that.
Oh, I can't believe you're turning this down.
Barry, I have another life here now, and it's very important to me.
Isn't there anything at all that I can do to make you change your mind?
No. But if I were at all free, I would jump at the chance.
Well, I've got to admit, I'm very disappointed.
You won't have any trouble finding a very able assistant in New York.
Well, perhaps, but not anyone who's as involved with this ballet as you are. And as for the dancer to do the village maiden, well, I'll have to go through a lot of auditions before I'll be able to get your image out of my mind.
I'll talk to you later, Ian.
You know what Antonio told me earlier? He said that he can't picture this ballet without you.
Oh, Ian, please don't. I have made up my mind.
I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry.
This ballet will be fine without me. I'll be out in the audience applauding, where I belong. In the audience next to Bob.
All right.
Ian, I want you to promise me something.
What?
That you won't tell Bob about this offer, or that I turned it down.
This is a person-to-person call to Dr. Karanovsky.
K-A-R-I-N-O-F-S-K-Y.